Hi, my name is Pierre, student number 1427251. This is the following of the first video on the laboratory one. In this video, I'm going to show how to create a cluster with EMC Isilon simulator. So here is my OVA installed already. I run the installation because otherwise it was taking too much time. So to create the cluster, I'm going to need to select this wizard. So now I have to run through all the license. So what am I going to need for this to create in order to create this cluster? I will need an internal network to set up an internal network and to set up the external network. These two networks will need for the internal a low IP address and a high IP address in order to have the IP range, and a net mask for the internal. And for the external, there will be a low IP address and high IP address as well for the range, and a net mask and a gateway. Where to get this IP address for internal and external network, we will run the command line interface on my laptop to see the VMnet1 IP address and VMnet8 IP, which I recorded already on a piece of paper. So so now we click yes to accept the license. They ask us to change the password, so I choose my new password for the root and admin as well. So now I need to create my cluster. So I give it the name my cluster. Choose this encoding, and now I am going to start to set up the interface. To get the IP addresses, I need to go to command get IP config, and here are my VMnet8 and VMnet1 IP addresses that I am going to use for the cluster. So configure the net mask. So enter a new net mask, so 255.255.0, and then configure IP range 3. So my low IP is 192.168.175.1, and for the range I will give 100, and I need to click add IP before. So so that's for the low IP, and this is for the high IP address. And now this is configured, so the internal network is configured. Exit, and now I am going to configure the external interface. So the mask as well will be the same, 255.255.0. We'll configure the IP range now by adding the IP addresses. So 192.168.64.100 for the low IP. and 110 for the high IP. Yes. Configure interface. And now we need to find a gateway, and we will take the external interface IP. Now our cluster is configured, cluster date, external subnet, join mode, and then we say commit the changes, yes. Now the Isilon simulator will run the wizard with all the configuration that we set up to create the cluster. Once one cluster will be created, we can create clones of the EMC Isilon simulator and join clusters together by it's an option in the wizard to join, or we create a new cluster, or we can join as many clones as we want. This wizard might run for a while. At the end of this wizard, our cluster will be created.